Welcome to Wisdom Uploaded. We're here to give you that strategic shortcut, the insights you need to really win in, well, the pretty demanding digital world of 2025.
Yeah, and winning today looks fundamentally different. We see so many businesses still laser focused on those bottom of funnel tactics, right? It's just chasing the last click.
Absolutely, trying to get that immediate conversion.
Exactly. But, consumer attention is just razor thin. The buying journey, it's all over the place. So if you're only relying on BOFU, your growth isn't just stalling. Frankly, you're probably losing ground to competitors who get the bigger picture.
It feels like the whole game changed. The era of, cheap clicks and easy wins, that's definitely over.
Oh, completely. Driven by privacy rules, the whole cookie apocalypse situation.
More completely. The AI platforms becoming so dominant, they demand better data, better signals. So our goal here is to really unpack that winning formula. What does a true integrated full funnel strategy look like today? What channels, what measurement, what data actually deliver sustainable growth? This is all about merging strategy with, well, empathy for the customer journey and getting real results.
And it has to be seamless. That's the new baseline expectation from consumers. They want personalized, consistent experiences. Doesn't matter if they see you on TikTok first, then your website, then an email. It has to connect.
Okay, let's break it down then. We talk about 2FU, MOFU, BOFU. But what does that practically mean in 2025? What are the essential channels for each stage if we want to build that brand equity and get sales?
Right. It's less about the acronyms and more about the function, the data utility. So started at the top of funnel, TOFU awareness. The goal isn't just eyeballs anymore. It's about generating clean, scalable audience data that feeds the AI.
Ah, interesting. So the channels reflect that.
Precisely. You need channels that act as discovery engines. Think high volume, short form video TikTok, YouTube Shorts, smart display campaigns for really getting into the market. And definitely investing in influencer partnerships that generate those valuable first-party signals.
Got it. So 2FU is almost like creative data harvesting. Okay, once you have those initial signals, how does the channel mix change for the middle of funnel MOFU consideration?
Yeah, here it shifts entirely. Now you're nurturing interest, you're educating, building measurable trust. So the channels get more controlled, more targeted.
Like what?
Sophisticated remarketing campaigns, maybe using sequential ads, telling a story, personalized email flows, definitely. Webinars are great here for capturing detailed intent data and content that proves your value. Case studies, white papers, things like that.
So metric shifts from reach to
Engagement.
engagement duration,
Absolutely.
value capture. Yeah. Are they spending time with your content? Are they signaling real interest?
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
But eventually you need the sale. So bottom of funnel, BOFU conversion. What's the key here beyond just, buy now? Ruthless optimization. That's the key at BOFU now. We're talking high-intent channels, obviously Google shopping campaigns, things like that. Hyper-aggressive retargeting across platforms. And crucially, landing pages that aren't just okay, they're rigorously CRO tested.
CRO being conversion rate optimization.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. If your TUFOU and MOQ did their jobs right, these BOFU campaigns should convert at a much lower cost per acquisition than hitting a cold audience. That's the payoff.
Right. And then there's the stage that often gets forgotten, but determines long-term success, post-purchase and retention.
Ah, yes. So critical. People sometimes see it as separate from marketing, but it's vital for lifetime value.
Yeah.
This relies on a solid CRM system, smart loyalty programs that actually reward repeat business and advocacy, and personalized cross-sell or upsell offers.
So the funnel doesn't really end at the sale.
Not if you want sustainable growth. A true full funnel strategy sees that existing customer as your most valuable asset, potentially your next big revenue source.
Okay, the structure makes sense. But let's get real about why this is so crucial now. Why is just focusing on one channel, say, only running conversion ads, basically a losing strategy in 2025? What are the hard benefits for our listeners in making this shift?
Well, there are really 5 core reasons why this integrated approach isn't just nice to have, it's mandatory. First, simple consumer behavior. That old rule of thumb about needing 7 to 12 touch points before a purchase.
Yeah, I've heard that number tossed around.
It's not just a theory anymore. It's pretty much the reality for profitability.
Yeah.
If your only touch point is a BOFU ad, you're fundamentally ignoring maybe 80% of your potential market. With people still researching, still becoming aware, you're missing them entirely, or worse, paying way too much to convert them cold.
And that directly leads to rising costs, I assume.
That's reason number 2, rising acquisition costs, demand efficiency, CPCs, CPMs. They're not getting cheaper, are they?
Definitely not.
So you literally cannot afford wasted spend. A full funnel approach optimizes your budget because you're warming audiences up efficiently through 2FU and Omethia. You're not trying to introduce your brand and close the sale in one expensive click.
And the platforms themselves are kind of pushing us this way too, right?
That's the third point, spot on. The AI platforms, Meta, Google, TikTok, they're incredibly sophisticated now, and they actively reward advertisers who feed them complete data loops,
Meaning?
meaning consistent signals from awareness through consideration all the way to conversion. When the algorithm sees that whole journey, it can predict and target much, much more efficiently. Fragmented data just leads to the algorithm guessing, and that costs you money.
Okay, so better efficiency, platform rewards. What about the brand itself?
That's point 4. Building brand equity, not just chasing sales spikes. A full funnel strategy forces you to blend performance marketing, the direct response stuff, with actual storytelling and valuable content. That combination builds lasting value, so you're not constantly paying a premium just to get noticed tomorrow.
It's about building something sustainable.
Exactly. And the fifth reason, it's really the only way to deliver truly personalized experiences at scale.
How so?
Because the planning is coordinated. You can smoothly take someone from seeing, say, a brand awareness video at TOFU to then getting a retargeting ad for a specific product review they looked at during MOFU. The message stays relevant to where they are in the journey. And that relevance, that dramatically lifts conversion rates.
Okay, the why is clear. So if a business listening right now wants to build this out, make it happen, what are the absolute key actionable components they need to focus on right now?
All right, let's get practical. Success really hinges on 5 foundational components. Number 1, no surprise. Data and audience insights. It all starts here. You have to deeply understand your buyer personas, yes, but crucially, know where they actually spend their time online. That dictates everything.
Where to put the budget. Okay, know your audience, know where they hang out. Then what?
Component 2, content that matches intent. This is huge. Your creative isn't just fluff. It's the vehicle delivering the message for that specific funnel stage. You need, perhaps high-impact, story-driven stuff for TOFU curiosity, deeper educational content blogs, guides for MOFU, and super clear, direct calls to action, maybe promotions for BOFU.
And if the content doesn't match the stage?
Wasted effort. Creative fatigue sets in fast. You're showing the wrong message at the wrong time.
Got it. Now, component 3 sounds like where things often break down for teams. Channel integration? How do you stop the silos?
Yeah, this is tough but essential. You absolutely have to avoid siloed teams running siloed campaigns with separate budgets. Technically, it means setting up audience flows that pass data seamlessly. For example,
Give us an example.
okay, someone engages with your TikTok awareness video. That signal should automatically add them to a custom audience in Meta or Google Ads. Then, that audience gets served a specific retargeting ad, maybe linking to a blog post related to the video theme. It requires central planning and shared data, not isolated efforts.
Okay, that makes sense. Integration needs planning. Component 4, measurement and attribution. This feels extra tricky now with privacy changes. How do we prove this all works?
It's the backbone, truly. And you're right, last-click attribution is basically useless for understanding a full funnel. Brands must implement multi-touch attribution models and technically leverage tools like GA4's analysis features or even look into data clean rooms to connect those dots across platforms.
Why is that so critical?
Because if you can't accurately show that your 2FU video campaign actually helped lower your BOFU conversion cost down the line, you'll never get buy-in to fund the top of the funnel properly. The whole strategy relies on proving that connection.
Right, showing the investment pays off later. Okay, final component.
Component 5, creative and experimentation. You can't set and forget. Creative fatigue will kill your funnel performance. The best brands are constantly testing, A/B testing creative, testing different formats, short-form video, UGC-style ads, carousels, interactive stuff. Keep it fresh, keep it resonant, especially at the top, to get those initial signals.
That's a solid framework. Data, content, integration, measurement, and testing. Can you maybe walk us through a quick, memorable example, put it all together for us?
Sure. Let's use that hypothetical D2C skincare brand again.
Yeah.
Their goal is maximizing customer lifetime value.
Okay.
So for 2FU awareness, they might run a big push with local TikTok and YouTube influencers showing the product in a relatable, maybe funny daily routine. Goal: Just maximize views, get eyeballs, initial engagement signals.
So they've got a big pool of people who've seen the product now. What's the MOFU consideration play?
Right, now the nurturing engine starts. They retarget those video viewers, but the ads now feature maybe an expert dermatologist talking about the science behind the ingredients.
Yeah.
At the same time, they're boosting SEO blog posts about, say, solving dry skin, which their product addresses. They're adding value, building credibility.
Providing answers before asking for the sale. Okay, then the push to BOFU conversion.
They target users who visited the actual product page. That's a strong BOFU signal with really direct abandoned cart style retargeting. Clear urgency. Maybe a time-limited discount offered via email or specific shopping ads showing bundles. The key is it's personalized, not a generic ad. It's reminding them of that product they looked at.
Makes sense. And the final loop for profitability.
Retention. Their CRM flags customers who bought the cleanser. Those customers automatically get a personalized email sequence a bit later, offering maybe a discount on the matching serum or moisturizer. They're using purchase history to drive the next sale efficiently, without paying for new media acquisition.
That paints a really clear picture of how it flows together. It sounds powerful, definitely necessary, but let's also be honest about the challenges. This isn't easy to implement, is it?
No, it's definitely not push-button simple. We have to acknowledge the hurdles. First, the sheer volume of creative needed is significant. You need high-quality stuff optimized for every stage, every platform. That takes real resources, sustained effort.
Content creation bottleneck. What else? Second, tracking. Tracking users reliably across all these different platforms, especially with privacy restrictions tightening, is complex. It often requires specialized data skills, frankly, to properly stitch together that multi-touch attribution story.
And then there's often internal resistance, right? Especially around budget.
Ah, yes, that's a big one. Businesses often resist moving budget away from what seems to be working now, even if it's high-cost BOFU conversions towards longer-term awareness efforts.
How do you overcome that? How do you convince, say, the finance team to invest in TOFU when the ROI isn't immediate?
That's probably the toughest conversation. It comes back to data. You have to use multi-touch attribution data, even if imperfect, to demonstrate how that 2FU investment is measurably reducing the final CPA down the funnel. You need to show, look, spending $6 here saved us hours over here 6 weeks later.
So it's not lost money, it's an investment in efficiency.
Precisely. You have to frame it as an investment that deflates the cost at the bottom. Without that clear data story, the inertia of just funding the last click usually wins. It's understandable, but short-sighted. Looking ahead then, connecting this to the bigger picture, things like AI becoming even more central, shoppable video, maybe AR/VR experiences down the line, privacy-first targeting. It feels like all these trends just reinforce the need for this holistic approach, don't they?
Absolutely. Every major trend points towards needing a connected, intelligent, full-funnel strategy. Isolated campaigns will become increasingly ineffective and expensive. In 2025 and beyond, the winners will be the brands that build real relationships and sustainable equity, not just chase temporary revenue spikes.
It's about moving beyond just capturing conversions to actually building a valuable customer base.
That's the core belief at Digital Time Savers. Real success comes from aligning your data, your creative, and your strategy across that entire customer journey. So if you're listening and feeling like your current approach needs that kind of integration for sustainable growth, we invite you to connect with DTS. We build these tailored roadmaps to help businesses successfully navigate into 2025.
So here's a final thought for you to consider as you look at your own marketing. When you examine your current campaigns, how many meaningful touch points are you really giving your customer before you asked for the sale? And, maybe more importantly, are you willing to embrace the complexity needed to fundamentally lower your customer acquisition costs for the long haul?